If you're a coffee lover, you've definitely asked yourself this question. You're standing there staring at a wall of coffee bags, just totally overwhelmed, and you think, what is the best filter coffee? Well, let's try to find an answer together.
It really is the ultimate question, isn't it? Is there some secret magic bean out there? One perfect roast that's just, the undisputed champion of all coffee.
Well, believe it or not, the answer is actually super simple. The best filter coffee is the one you love the most. That's it. No expert, no coffee blogger, no one can tell you you're wrong. It's all about your personal taste. Simple, right?
Okay, well, maybe not that simple, because knowing you like a coffee is one thing, but really understanding what you like about it and why, now that's the real key. That's how you unlock the whole world of coffee and find even more that you'll absolutely love.
And to do that, we kind of have to look in the mirror first. A lot of the time, the biggest thing standing between us and that perfect cup isn't the coffee. It's our own way of thinking about it. So let's dive into 5 common mindsets that might be holding you back. First up, we've got the skeptic. This is the person who's convinced that all this talk about tasting notes and single origins, it's all just a big marketing trick to make you spend more money. For them, coffee has one job: wake me up. End of story. But think about it like this. Saying coffee is kind of like saying a tomato is a tomato. And you know that's not true, right? You've had one of those pale, watery supermarket tomatoes, and you've had a sweet, incredible one right from the garden. The difference is night and day. Coffee has that exact same level of amazing diversity. You just have to be open to tasting it. Ah, the classic. The demand for strong coffee. This is probably one of the most common things people say they want. But what does strong actually mean? Because the answer probably isn't what you think it is. So usually when someone says they want strong coffee, they're after one of 3 things. First, they might mean they want that really dark, roasty, bold flavor. Second, they might just want a serious caffeine jolt. Or third, they might just mean they want a coffee that isn't sour. The trick is figuring out which one of those you're really looking for. And this is where things get interesting. That strong, dark roast, a lot of the time it's just burnt, which completely kills all the interesting flavors. And here's the kicker. Roasting darker actually reduces the caffeine. As for acidity, look, if you had a bad, sour coffee in the past, I get it. But don't give up. In great coffee, acidity isn't sourness. It's brightness. It's vibrancy. It's a whole different world. All right, next up is the idea that good coffee is some kind of luxury hobby, that it's only for people with tons of money and fancy, complicated equipment. This mindset makes specialty coffee feel totally out of reach, like it's just too much effort. But the reality is, getting started is shockingly cheap. You can get a simple brewer, like a French press, for about the same price as a bag of those really nice tomatoes we were talking about. You absolutely do not need a $1,000 machine to make a fantastic cup of coffee at home. Now we go from one extreme to the other. And honestly, this might be the most dangerous mindset of all: the bargain hunter. This is the person who's sure they've cracked the code. They found specialty coffee for a crazy low price, and they think everyone else is a sucker for paying more.
And the final group. This is where a lot of us probably find ourselves. You can tell the difference between a good cup and a bad one. You really enjoy quality coffee, but you're just not sure what the next step is. If that sounds like you, then you are in the perfect spot to start an amazing journey.
So let's circle back to that bargain hunter for a second, because understanding how the market actually works is the key to not getting fooled. You've heard this old saying a million times for a reason. When you see a bag of supposedly amazing single-origin coffee for a price that just seems impossible, your alarm bells should be going off like crazy. And this is exactly why. Think about it from the roaster's side. They start with the cost of the raw green coffee. Then, when they roast it, the beans lose about 15% of their weight in water. Poof! That instantly makes the coffee more expensive per kilo. Then you have to add the cost of the bag, the labels, the electricity, the person doing the roasting, the rent on the building, and finally shipping. When you add all that up, selling that coffee for less than they paid for the raw beans is literally impossible.
Okay, now let's talk about the single most important factor for a great cup of coffee: freshness. And this is another area where marketing can be really, really misleading. To really get freshness, you have to know the difference between these 2 phrases. Freshly roasted is the golden ticket. That's what you're looking for. It means that beans were roasted very recently and all that amazing flavor is at its peak.
Freshly ground, on the other hand, that's usually a marketing trick. A store can grind beans that were roasted 6 months ago right in front of you and call it fresh. But all the real freshness was gone long ago. Always, always look at the roast date, not the grind date.
Here's why this is so critical. When the coffee is a whole bean, kept in a sealed bag, it stays delicious and vibrant for weeks after it's been roasted. But the second you grind it, you expose way more surface area to oxygen, and all those beautiful complex flavors just start to vanish. After just a day or two, most of its character is just gone. Grinding your beans right before you brew is the #1 best thing you can do to up your coffee game at home.
Okay, so we've busted some myths, we've looked at how the market works. So what now? It's time to start your own coffee adventure. And the good news is the path forward is actually really simple. So let's just boil this all down. First, remember, the best coffee is simply the one you love. Always look for a roast date and buy freshly roasted whole bean coffee. Be super skeptical of those deals that seem impossible, because they are. And most important of all, just have fun with it. Be curious. Treat it like you're learning to find your favorite kind of tomato. Just taste, explore, and enjoy the whole process. It's a journey, not a test.
So with all that said, how will your adventure begin? That perfect cup is out there waiting for you. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.